Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Daniel and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that all of you wonderful, beautiful people are here today for another spectacular book review. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a book that I believe is much needed in today's society. It's a book all about fatherhood. It's all about raising sons, giving them the tools that they need to be as equipped as possible before they go out there in the world. This book is The Intentional Father by Jon Tyson. I don't even have a physical copy of it right now because as soon as I finished this book, I gave it to a friend so that he could read it and learn what was inside of it. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a very simple, brief overview of The Intentional Father by Jon Tyson and talking about why I think that it's worth it for you to go ahead and grab a copy of this book. Now, before we dive straight into the video, I want to remind you, the viewer, to smash that subscribe button if you have not already done so. Stay tuned for more book reviews. Stay tuned for future content. And then also, if you're enjoying being here, if you're glad that you're learning about a book that will help you become an intentional father, then smash that like button. It's something that helps the channel out and costs you absolutely nothing. And then if at any point in the video you decide that you just need to grab a copy of The Intentional Father by Jon Tyson, there's a link down in the description below. If you use that link to get this book, then I do get a small commission without charging you any extra. So now that I've gotten that all out of the way, let's dive on into today's video. All right, so The Intentional Father by Jon Tyson is a practical guide to raising sons of courage and character. Jon Tyson clearly saw a need for creating intentionality in fatherhood. In this book, Jon Tyson uses a ton of statistical data to show how the absence of fathers, how the carelessness of fathers is negatively impacting our sons and society. And then he offers you a guide on how to become an intentional father. This book starts off talking about the different kinds of fathers, all the way from the completely negligent father that has nothing to do with their child, all the way up to the intentional father who is consciously investing into their children, spending time with them, a father that doesn't prioritize work over their family, a father who is there, who is investing in giving their children the tools that they need to be successful in a way that will not only impact the world now, but for generations to come. So then after Jon talks about why it's so important to be an intentional father, and what an intentional father looks like, he offers a guide on how to be an intentional father. Jon Tyson raised his son Nate using this strategy. He said that nobody gave him this strategy. He kind of just learned from different things here and there, and people were asking him over and over again, how did your son become so confident? How did he become so courageous? Why does it seem like he's so much more equipped than the average man out there? And Jon Tyson was kind enough to share his wisdom, to share his strategy in this book, The Intentional Father. As you go through the rest of the book, you see how Jon was intentional with his son Nate by waking up early in the morning every day and spending time maybe talking about the Bible, maybe talking about a book that they were reading together, but he was always getting his son thinking, learning more, asking questions about life, asking questions about who he is and how he can grow into the man that he aspires to be. One of the parts of this book that I thought was the absolute coolest is where Jon talks about the initiation ceremony that he does for his son, that whenever his son turned 13, he did this whole manly initiation ritual to let his son know that you are a man now, that I'm going to treat you like a man and I'm going to be intentionally raising you. Throughout his time raising his son, Jon and Nate went on a ton of different adventures, usually with the purpose to help grow his son. Jon did not allow Nate to just grow up willy-nilly with no direction in life. He was constantly pushing his son at a reasonable rate in order to help him become the man that he had envisioned for him. As always, I'm not going to just go over the entire strategy that Jon had for his son, but I do encourage you to grab this book and read it. You are always going to get so much more out of the book than you would a quick summary video. But personally, I think that this book is a must-read for any fathers or mothers who are looking to intentionally raise their sons, who have a vision of who their son could be and want to help them get there. I definitely can see just by looking at the world around me that there is a lack of strong fathers out there, of intentional fathers, and it is doing us harm. It is truly damaging civilization, and we need to correct the course. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was short, easy to read. It's only a little more than 200 pages, but it is a small book. You really do breeze from chapter to chapter. There's a lot of different graphs and statistical data that show you different aspects of fatherhood, what makes some fathers more successful than others, and the information in this book is very easy to grasp. One thing that Jon says in this book is that not every step in this guide might be for you. He encourages you to be creative, have your own experience with your own son, because your son is going to be different than his son. But even if you pick and choose which pieces of the guide that you want to use, your son will still be better off. It will still help you to be intentional with raising your son and preparing him for the future. I can only imagine what the world would look like if all the dads right now decided that they were going to invest into their children, that they were going to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do this right. I'm not just going to blindly walk through life attempting to survive. No, I'm going to be purposeful in the ways that I raise my son and my family. So like I said before, if this is a book that you need to get your hands on, there's a link down in the description below, so go ahead and grab yourself a copy. As always, I'm so glad that you beautiful people are here watching these videos. I can't wait for the next video, but until then, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastical, wonderful day. Have a great day, guys.